live, and I'm 20 minutes late, but looks like it's working now. All right, over now.
I think you're going to get severe beatings from your fans.
Are you saying I'm going to get severe beatings from my fans?
Yeah, I think they're going to give you severe beatings for like being late. I mean, dude, come on, punctuality makes the appointment work.
Yeah, there's nobody here anyway. Maybe I can go shave. I wanted to shave this morning, but like, yeah, I didn't have time. My face is feeling too hot though. I feel like I'm winter Jaimie, and I need to be what's this? Caribbean Jaimie.
Oh, yeah. Is that because you were helping to clean off some weird girl's boat and which you ended up slicing your hand open from?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the whole story about this ridiculousness in a minute. I gotta go find a shirt because I'm standing here mostly naked. I've got shorts on though. All right, bye.
Are you gonna make this story like really melodramatic and like?
Oh.
I feel like the Jeopardy
Okay.
contest should be playing
I
right
think
now.
this is a this shirt day. All right, people, give me a second. Let me tell you how my morning went so far. So, oh yeah, now I feel better. Well, I better not do that too much. I have a really nice cut on my finger there. It looks like it's stopped bleeding. Man, my hand was covered in blood very recently. Anyway, I don't know if you said anything else important, but all right, I'm talking to my people now. Over and out. Okay.
Nope, nothing important. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Okay, so this morning, Deshana wanted me to help her with some stuff. So, I went over to her house, and I mean, the kids were here, so I took them over there because they were going to spend the day there. And I went over to her house and helped her move a ladder, and I don't know what else. And then I was like, all right, I got to go and get some sand in my boat because she has a bunch of sand over there, and I was putting it at my beach. I'll tell you why I was putting it at my beach. It's because I've got an erosion issue. So the sea level seems to have been going up a little bit, and whether or not it has, whatever, I'm getting some erosion in this one part of my island over there. So, like the sand levels down here, and the water's coming in and eroding the clay. So I was like, well, what if I put a bit of sand here and just get that up so that the water only comes up to the sand, and then I won't get so much erosion. So I'm putting some sand, at the edge of the land just to protect it. So anyway, I got a few buckets of sand in my boat from Deshana's house, and then I paddled out into her bay to just jump in the water and clean off the bottom of my boat, which is very easy because I clean it off like pretty regularly. Not every day, but very regularly. And this is not the best light. What's blocking my light? Oh, it's this. I'm gonna move that and that. Well, that's a little better. All right, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I went to clean off the bottom of my boat, which just involves like a little scrub brush, and I'll show you the kind of brush I use. It's not this one, but it's kind of like this. It doesn't have the handle. Maybe I should use this one. That would be even easier. There's one where I just kind of hold like that and scrub around real quick over the boat, because there's not much on my boat because I clean it so often. So there's maybe a little bit of algae and stuff. So Deshana is like, oh, if I drive my boat out, can you help me clean my boat too? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I wipe off my boat. It takes, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. Probably not even 15, like 10 minutes. Scrub the paddle wheel a little bit on the part that's always in the water. And then I get to her boat, and I'm like, oh yeah, she didn't clean this off for like years. So for anyone who doesn't know how this goes, let me give you the explanation. When you have a nice new boat and you put it in the water, it's nice and smooth and can go through the water real fast, like nice and smooth, right? Nice and streamlined. But then if you leave it in the water, and now this depends on which water you're in, if you're in a lake or the ocean or warm water, cold water, different areas, this happens at different rates, and it depends on the specific spot you are, but whatever. But stuff's gonna start growing on the bottom of your boat. So maybe the first week, you'll start getting a little bit of algae growing on your boat. just a little bit. You can scrub it off pretty easily. By the second week, you've got a lot of algae growing on the bottom of your boat. It's like a green carpet under there, and it significantly slows you down because trying to drag a shag carpet through the water on the bottom of your boat, that will slow you way down, and that is significantly harder to get off because when the algae-ish stuff, whatever it is, starts getting stringy, you can't just scrub it off because it's like strings. You got to kind of start using something a little bit like a plastic thing like this to kind of slice it off, kind of shave it off your boat. But also, by the time you're getting this shag carpet, you're starting to get little barnacles. Barnacles, they're kind of just look like this. Wait, well, this is as good as I can get it with this little piece of paper. So it's kind of like you got your surface of your boat, and these little shells start growing on like this. And I guess they eat stuff here, and they stick here. They just stick to the boat. Now, they start off real small, and then they start getting bigger and bigger. If you ignore this for weeks, months, you end up with a situation where the bottom of your boat is covered in barnacles. Okay, I'm trying to ignore the comments right now. I'm gonna get to those. But yeah, feel free to have a conversation. I'll catch up on those when I'm done this. Okay, so the barnacles, they stick really hard. Like, that's all they do. They don't walk around or anything. They're just like, we are sticking. They're live things that have nothing else to do other than stick and eat. That's all they do. They stick like crazy. And they're sharp. So like this top edge here, this round edge is like a razor blade. And then there are also, oysters and other shelly things sticking on the bottom of the boat. So what you end up with, it's kind of like someone took your boat, smeared like a thick layer of epoxy over the entire bottom of the boat, and then took buckets of razor blades and just whoosh, and just threw razor blades at your boat. So now your boat is just coated with like this hard shell of razor sharp crap. And at that point, you have to get like a steel chisel and like really, sometimes you even need a hammer. And I got some of these off one of my boats a little while ago. I got video of it when I was cleaning off the zombie chopper. But those barnacles had been dried out. They'd been out of the water for quite some time. They were all dead. They were losing some of their stick, but they were still hard to get off. A boat that's still in the water with live barnacles, oh man, it is hard to get those things off. So anyway, this is the condition of Deshana's boat. She's probably watching this right now laughing. She did clean off some of it previously, but anyway, I'm cleaning off the boat, and it's just like trying to avoid razor blades while aggressively chiseling them off. And I got through most of the boat until I got this. I don't know if you can see it very well. There's a nice cut right there. It stopped bleeding. I just have a bit of dried blood around there now. My whole hand was covered in blood at one point. It went pretty deep because it's like razor blades, these things. So I cut the crap out of my hand, and then I was like, okay, I'm done this. I was almost done the boat. We can work on some more of these barnacles later. So I got in my boat, drove over here to my island, shoveled the sand out of my boat into the spot where I'm getting the erosion to kind of fill in the hole and take care of that. And then I come to my house and I'm like, oh, what time is it? And I'm like, oh, it's already 11. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing this thing that I'm doing right now. So I ran over, threw all my clothes off, had a shower, ran back inside, washed off my hand, put some alcohol on it, and I was testing my finger. Doesn't feel like I hit the tendon at all because I can put pressure and like that, and it's fine. Because I think I just went right beside the tendon, and I know what it feels like to hit the tendon because I have another scar right here from years ago, decades ago actually, when I was building a computer case because I was making a computer. I shouldn't say I'm making a computer. I was just assembling parts really. I don't make the motherboard. But anyway, I was putting a computer together. I didn't have a case, so I was making a case out of sheet metal. I cut the crap out of my finger. And that one I did hit the tendon. And if I tried to lift up my finger, oh man, I could feel it. But it eventually healed, almost totally normal, except with this one thing. Okay, if I hold this hand up, You see, my middle finger is the furthest one back. If I like just open my hand, right? Now this one, if I just open my hand, see my middle finger? It was originally like back there somewhere. It was originally the furthest one back. Wait, I'm gonna line it up right. But now it's kind of like there. So it's like it's not quite where it used to be. But that's the only lasting effect of that is, I lost a couple millimeters of, whatever. But anyway, I didn't hit the tendon this time, and it's fine. I was, when you bleed enough and you can smell the blood, it just totally reminded me of lemon meringue pie. Like my blood smells like lemon meringue pie. I haven't had any significant cuts where I've had like a lot of blood and like to the point where I could smell it in a while. So I kind of forgot what it smelled like. And I don't remember it smelling like a lemon meringue pie before. But now I can even still smell it a little bit. Totally smells like lemon meringue pie. Maybe that's why I always loved lemon meringue pie when I was a kid. That was my favorite pie. Oh, lemon meringue pie. I haven't had one in a long time because they have sugar in them. And I stopped eating sugar, I don't know, years ago, like a decade ago now or something. I don't know. I haven't eaten sugar in a long time. I shouldn't say that. I mean, if there's some cookies around, I'll eat them. But I don't like have sugar in my house. I very rarely eat any added sugar to something. I'm not like a psycho about it or anything. But and now I'm wondering if I can make a lemon meringue pie without any sugar. And I don't mean with like sugar substitute. I don't do that crap. Just like straight up make it with no sugar. I always think it's weird when people want to, they don't want to eat something, but then they want to substitute something for what they don't want to eat. So they don't want to eat sugar, but they're going to put in some fake sugar. It's like, if you're going to eat the sugar, just eat the sugar. It's like when vegans are like, well, I'm not going to eat meat, but I'm going to eat this meat substitute. So I'm going to pretend I'm not eating meat while pretending I'm eating meat. I'm not going to eat meat, but I'm going to pretend I'm eating. Yeah, it's like if you're going to eat meat, just eat meat. If you don't want to eat meat, just don't eat meat. Like you can not eat meat. You don't have to have something that pretends to be meat. Doesn't make any sense. It'd be kind of like me deciding, well, I don't want to eat feces. However, I'm going to eat a feces substitute. So I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to find the refried beans that are packaged as human feces. Here's human feces, 100% not actual human feces. However, it's packaged as human feces. Looks like human feces, smells like human feces, tastes like human feces. So gobble it up. And then I can be like, look, I'm not actually eating human feces, but I'm eating the thing that I don't want to eat in a fake form. Like, I don't get it. Why would you eat something that you don't actually want to eat? Like, if you want to eat a thing, just eat it. If you don't want to eat a thing, just don't eat it. All right. Have I gone off a big enough tangent there? There's one other thing. Poo-poo platter. Okay. Stressed, spelled backwards, is a lemon meringue dessert. Oh, desserts. Anyway, okay. There's one other thing that happened this week that I want to talk about, and I'm obviously going to go on some big moral story tangent about it. So, Deshane is not taking care of her boat, and she's getting me to do it, which is a little bit silly, but whatever. I do it because I'm always helpful. I always have to resist the urge because I'm always like, I automatically always say yes to everything. But with Deshana, she asked me to do too much, so I have to like purposely say no. I'm like, no. Anyway, so there was a conversation I was having with Deshana about something, doesn't matter what it was, and some third party sticks their nose in. They have no idea what the context of this conversation is or what's going on. It doesn't matter. What is important is this person, this lady, comes along and says, blah, 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 like give Deshana a break, do whatever, help her, whatever. And they finish with, she's just a girl. She's just a girl. She's just a girl. So she should be more useless than normal people. This whole, she's just a girl, or I've heard it, you're just a man. You can't do this amazing, crazy thing. You're just you're just one person, or you're just this, or you're just that. That's all you are. We go around saying these ridiculous things all the time. And let me use the woman example. Like, she's just a girl. First, she's not a girl, she's a woman. So don't go around saying about women, she's just a girl, she can't do things, because all you're doing is telling people that they can't do things. You're giving them this excuse, that you're just throwing an excuse at them that you can't do something. And I don't care if you're doing this to a woman or a man or a boy or a girl or a turtle, whatever. There's no value in going around saying, you're just a this, you're just a that, so you can't be more responsible. This is just a permanent excuse for you to always not do something. And we do that a lot. We do that way too much, and we gotta stop doing that. And you know what? I think I might skip this other tangent I'm about to go on, or maybe I won't. All right, I hate noisy people. Oh, I'm being so noisy right now. I'm being so noisy. Anyway, let me tell you another quick story. It's kind of related to that. Once upon a time, there was this kingdom. And it wasn't really a kingdom, but we're calling it a kingdom. And this kingdom fought for their independence from the empire. And the empire was like, no, you can't do what you want. We're going to control everything you do. And the people in this kingdom were like, no, we want our freedom. We want freedom. We want to do what we want. We don't want the empire sticking their nose in, telling us what to do all the time. Because that's not cool. We're strong, independent people. We want to make our own dang decisions. And so this kingdom, they fought for their independence and they gained their freedom. And then many years went by and the people in this kingdom got soft. They just kind of started, not trying so hard, enjoying all this freedom, and, just kind of taking it easy, taking it for granted. And then while this is going on, slowly the empire started weaseling people into political positions. And next thing you know, the president of the kingdom is now, sympathetic to the empire, as are most of the governors and the local lords and ladies. And then at some point, you get this president along with his local lords and ladies, and they're all sympathetic with this empire, and they're like, all right, how do we get this kingdom under control? We got to get them back under lock and key, because they fought and earned their independence, but now we're going to sneak it back away from them. So what do? We need to start controlling everything they do. We can't let them build a fence or renovate their own shed or put a deck at the back of their house or add some stairs or grow a hedge without paying us and asking us permission. And one of the lords said, well, these are people who fought for their independence. They're not just going to go for that kind of thing. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of plan. So the president said, all right, we're going to convene for today. The next meeting, I want to hear everyone's ideas, how we can find some loophole. Somehow we can stab these people in the back without them even knowing it. So the next meeting comes along. The president stands up and says, all right, has anyone got any special ideas of how we can, basically force our tyranny upon these people without them realizing it? And one of these lords stands up and says, all right, I think I've got it figured out. Check this. Okay. Now, say John Schmalow, he wants to build a fence around his front yard. He wants to build a nice white picket fence because he likes it, and his wife likes it, and his kids like it, and they're like, yay, we want to build a white picket fence. And he doesn't want to have to ask permission because that's ridiculous. And we can't force him to ask permission because that would be too much. People would be like, no way, right? And the president's like, okay, yeah, we know all that. Can you get to the part where this is useful? He's like, okay, here's what we do. We let everyone do whatever they want. But if there's a complaint, then we go in there and we permitize the crap out of them. So basically, this kills two birds with one stone. Not only do we not have to police the people, they will police each other. And then also, we get to force them to comply with our rules and ask permissions and pay our fees and fill out our papers and do all our crap, and we can force our tyranny upon them, but it's their own choice. Because we're going to tell them, no, you can do whatever you want. It's all up to you. And, we'll only intervene if one of you free people complains. And the president says, oh, come on. They're not going to complain. Why are people going to sell out their own neighbor? Why are free people going to give up their own freedom like that? They fought for their freedom. Why would they do that? And then the Lord says, this local Lord, governor, whatever he is, he comes in and says, yes, but we only have to convince 1 out of maybe 20 or 50 people to be this horrible person. There only needs to be one person on the entire street who complains. One complaint from one disgruntled, grumpy old bastard who just sits in their window doing nothing, staring at everyone else, saying, oh, what's people doing out there that I can ruin? What are they doing that I'm going to be jealous of, that I can complain? Well, now I have something to do. I can call someone up. I'm going to get the government to come in there and ruin their day. We only need one little prick like that on every street. And once that jerk complains, the person who gets complained to, well, they're going to be more likely to do it to the next person. And next thing you know, you've got like maybe 1 in 10 people are just complaining. So we present this as, well, obviously nobody's going to complain about this, but we just need to have in our laws something that says, vote Jaimie for president, not for USA. So we only need to have one. We're gonna make this law that says you can do whatever you want on your own property, anytime you want, unless someone complains. One of your fellow free people. If your free people are complaining, well then obviously someone has to intervene. So no problem. You guys go ahead and do whatever you want. And the people who are short-sighted, they don't see through the bull crap. They're like, oh well, this sounds totally reasonable. Because I'm friends with most of my neighbors. Most of my neighbors. Not good enough. I'm friends with most of my neighbors. They're not going to complain about me. And then they say, okay, fine. And then there's that one person on the street who comes out and says, do not take this deal. Do not take this deal. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is exactly how it's going to happen. And most of the people say, oh, come on. Conspiracy theory, ridiculousness. You're being crazy. You're over exaggerating. You're blowing this out of proportion. It's gonna be fine. So they pass the law. No problem. Barely any opposition. Next thing you know, Joe Schmuggley-Boo is out there building his fence. And that disgruntled little prick who was like the bully in high school, never did anything useful with their lives, and is jealous of everyone else, what everyone else has, jealous of everyone else doing things and accomplishing. They just sit there, grumpy, staring out their window. I see someone making a fence. I don't like it. Let me call the government. Person at the government gets the call and says, aha, we've got a complaint. That's even better than having a search warrant. All right, everyone, round up the trucks, go in there, you tax that person, you bust him, you make him pay for permission, make him fill out forms, and pay all kinds of fines. You tear that fence down, make him redo it, the whole thing, yeah. So you want to know what got me thinking about this? Recently, my hand is opening. I got to calm down a little so I don't rip my hand open more. So recently, I have friends around here, and a lot of people know who I am because I do these YouTube videos. Now, when I first moved here, like nobody local knew I was doing the YouTube videos, right? But I guarantee right now, at least a few people who are local to here are watching. And some of my friends have, over the last year or so, come up to me and said, hey Jaimie, this guy over here who lives here, his name's this, he saw me at the store and he comes up and he starts asking me all these questions about what you're doing and where you're doing it and, all these weird questions. And like, what kind of questions? And immediately, you know the kinds of questions someone asks when they're looking for something you're doing wrong. Oh, and it's always Americans and sometimes Canadians. It's a North American pastime. Sell out your neighbor, and this is where freedom went. You know, if you're wondering if you're an American and you're sitting there wondering where your freedom went, that's where it went. Every time someone sells out their neighbor, they're selling out their own freedom. One person on the block selling out the whole block takes away the freedom of the entire block. So anyway, yeah, so now at this point, I've got enough local people watching my videos, and this is all like mostly Americans and a few Canadians. And I'm not saying all Americans or Canadians are doing this. Most people are not at all. They're busy doing their own stuff, but it's always the ones who are hiring people and they call them workers. These aren't human beings. They're just workers because I can pay people $15 a day in this third world country where, you know, everything is backwards, and I'm just giving people huge opportunities because their life was terrible living in a tropical paradise before I came along and gave them $15 a day to do whatever I say, and I can enslave them basically for nothing. It's always those people who sit around doing nothing. And I'm not huge into like quoting Bible verses or religious passages or whatever, and I'm not even sure exactly where this comes from. But there's this quote that goes something like, "Idle hands are the devil's playthings." And oh yeah, it's always that grumpy bastard. And it doesn't have to be a male bastard, it can be a female one. And I'm not saying literally bastards. I'm just saying, that grumpy old, and they don't even have to necessarily be old. But that person who just sits around doing nothing, entitled, telling everyone else what to do, they are tearing the whole system down. And, I'm at the point here now where I'm like thinking twice about showing things on YouTube videos. It's like anything I show on video, like what is some idiot who has literally nothing better to do? Are they going to sit at home and be like, "Oh, I see what Jaimie's doing. Let me see. All right, let me look through the local laws and see what I can find that he's doing wrong." Because you can always find something eventually. Like, that's one of the things I've learned. If you're looking for something that someone's doing wrong, you're going to find something eventually. And one of the questions that people have been asking, not me directly, but people that I know, is Jaimie cutting mangroves? Well, just to clear your mind, no, I'm not cutting mangroves, so shut up. All right, let's move on. What do we got going on here? I missed quite a few comments in my 28 minutes of rambling. Well, that wasn't 28 minutes of rambling, because at the beginning I was finding a shirt and, should I put more alcohol in this? I think it's fine. I don't know. I'm going to get more alcohol for my cut. Hold on. Okay, for anyone who missed the beginning here, I cut the crap out of one of my knuckles. Getting barnacles off Deshana's boat. And the barnacles are like razor sharp, so I kind of cut my knuckle there. Ooh, that stings. That means it's getting in there. Good. All right, I'm going to try not to move that too much. Okay. Oh, I got to use the sand. Hello from Brazil. Yo, Jaimie. Hello, everyone. Great work with cleaning the bottom of the boat. I don't like cleaning. Yeah, cleaning the bottom of the boat is a piece of cake if you do it regularly. But, man, you leave it too long. Oh. I was thinking one day of boat barnacles, and I thought of, why not a Roomba with suction cups that bounces forward and backward to clean the boat? Yeah. The real solution to the barnacles is just to clean the boat before you get the barnacles. But man, once you get the barnacles, that would be a serious Roomba that can chew through these things. Like it's like trying to take off like concrete, basically, filled with razor blades. Shark Slicer gets my vote for best one. Best boat covered in barnacles right now. It does have barnacles on it right now because when I was building my house, a lot of things kind of got put aside, and I was like, I have to build my house, and yeah, I have to get the barnacles off the shark slicer. And I've started messing with the shark slicer. I got parts to make pedal power for the shark slicer, and the shark slicer is a bigger boat than I've been driving, but I'm pretty sure I can move it reasonably with pedal power. I'm still gonna have, the motor and stuff, but I really do like having pedal power on boats, partly so I have something to do. I'm not just sitting there driving, but also, if I'm out of energy, electrical energy anyway, I've still got me. I've got tons of power in me. Oh, hi, Jaimie. Those chips can poke your eye. Which chips? I don't know. Any power tools that could get the barnacles off? Oh, yeah. Okay, part of the problem with the barnacles is that the barnacles are harder than the fiberglass that's under them. So you have to get the barnacles off without destroying the boat itself. That's the trickiest part. I mean, you could just take a jackhammer and but the boat would be destroyed, right? Make sure you get every last fleck of barnacle out of there. Oh, I've super glued oyster cuts in my feet a few times after cleaning, but had to reopen one after a week due to one tiny fleck. Oh, out of my thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are no barnacle bits in there. It just, like I just hit it. Just I didn't even hit it hard. It was just like, it's like they're like razor blades. You don't have to hit it hard. It's just like kind of brushed by and clink, and I was like, crap. I don't think I broke off any pieces of barnacle. I would feel it by now, and it feels fine. Jaimie, do you like pavlova? What is pavlova? Is that a meat thing? I don't remember. I don't know. Blood pie. Oh, is it blood pie? I don't know. I've never had blood pie. I don't know if I'd want blood pie. I would eat my own blood pie or blood pie from, I don't know. I would need to know where this blood was coming from. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, I guess. I always thought it was funny that vegans want to eat things that taste like meat. Yeah, I had a really good friend who was vegan, and I ate with him a lot, and he had some delicious vegan stuff. But it was always funny to me every time he brought something out and he was like, this tastes just like meat. And I'd be like, why? I thought you did what? Ugh, whatever. Stress spelled backwards is lemon meringue dessert. Well, I think it's just dessert, not poo-poo. I would prefer the faux human feces. Yeah, I'd rather have faux human feces than real human feces. Oh, Sir Doc Mad says, I love you. Eat what you want and stop the crap. Yeah, don't eat crap. It's highly overrated from what I understand. Tomaters is here this week. Excellent. Hello, Tomaters. Okay, Graylin says natural sugar is good. Parfaits are great for you. Yogurt and fruit, blueberry, very healthy for stomach biome, make stronger. Yeah, I totally eat. When I say I don't eat sugar, I should probably specify. I don't eat like added sugar. Like I eat papayas and bananas. I eat fruits with sugar in it. I just don't, add sugar to anything. And if I want to have something sweet, like I'll make it out of some fruit, like papayas or bananas or whatever. Although now that I don't eat sugar, like my normal, what do you call it? My sweetness level is totally different than when I ate sugar. When I used to eat a lot of sugar, like something had to be sickeningly sweet for me to feel like it was sweet. But now that I don't eat sugar now, like fruits, they taste so sweet. And when I was a kid and I ate a lot of sugar, I didn't really like apples. Like I would eat them, but I would be like, oh, they're kind of like sourish. But now that I've gotten rid of all that sugar taste from my mouth, apples are amazing. Oh my God, I love apples. Honey, I guessed are best. I would totally eat honey. Do you eat 3 meals a day on schedule? I do not eat 3 meals a day on schedule. It really depends on what I'm doing and I guess on who else is around. But lately, and this actually happens a lot. Often I'll eat a pretty good breakfast and then I'll work on stuff through lunch and then eat a big dinner. And sometimes I can't quite keep up with the amount of calories I need to eat. Like I'll eat dinner and I'll be like bloated and I'll be like, oh, I can't eat anymore. but like my body is still hungry. And then like every week or two, I'll just have to like take a day off and just like eat all day to catch up so I don't start losing weight a lot. But yeah, a lot of times I just eat breakfast and then dinner. But if I'm working on something and there's like a break, I'll always grab something to eat. I shouldn't say always, it depends what I have. If I have something around or if I have time to make something real quick. Because I don't always have something I can just eat. Like right now, there's nothing I could just eat. Oh no, I have some peanuts. It's peanuts and raisins and cornflakes. Peanuts and raisins and cornflakes. I could just eat those. But I think everything else has to be cooked. I guess I could just eat an egg, but I don't know. I don't really do the raw egg things. Let's see. Just a woman, sexist and patronizing. Patronizing, that's the word I was looking for. Yes. She's just a woman. And this was a woman saying it, trying to be like, oh, I sympathize with her. Go help her. But it's like, if you want to sympathize with someone, it doesn't, patronizing them does not help. Is that, yeah. Deshana can do any job a man can do. Okay, so that is a really important point. So there's this thing, Deshana has a habit of asking for help first. And, doing it herself comes several steps later in the progression of her, what's the word? Her survival tactics. And it's because throughout most of her life, she can just blink her pretty eyes at someone and get them to do anything. There's always some guy around, just ready to do anything. So I've been working for years on getting her to do her own things. And I'd say in the last year or so, she's getting much more consistently into doing things herself. And this is, someone asked me last week if I'm helping her build her house. And her building her house is a big part of a huge learning process that I think she needs to have. I think it would have been good if she'd had this like when she was a teenager or in her 20s or something, but she never had it because there was always someone there to do stuff for her. So I'm really trying to get her to get this amazing lesson of self-reliance. Because at first it seems like, oh, I have to do it myself. That kind of sucks. But then once you kind of get into the habit of doing stuff yourself and being responsible and thinking ahead and planning ahead, you start finding yourself in all these good positions where, for instance, I go out to my boat and it's clean. Like every time I get on my boat, it has no barnacles. It's amazing. I love it. And I get on my boat and it drives great. And I'm like, oh, that was because of me. And I can be proud of myself for being responsible and taking care of that. And that's what happens when you start taking responsibility for your own things. So I'm working on that with Deshana. And man, it is hard when other people are around. Because other women, not all of them, but other women will say, oh, she's just a girl. Why do you make her do these things? Go help her. Or men will come along and say, oh, she's pretty. I'll help you. I'll do it. Whatever you want. And I'm just like, go away, people. Like she's learning like a huge, valuable lesson here. Stop, just go away. It's kind of like when you have a kid and you're making them do some big personal growth kind of project. And like people walk by and are like, oh, I'll help you with that. You shouldn't have to do that. And you're like, oh, God, stop it. You're ruining the lesson. So anyway, well, what do we got here? Yes, Deshana can do, she is actually extremely impressive once she puts her mind to something. And that's one of the most, that's one of the coolest things about her and one of the most frustrating things about her is that when she puts her mind to something and actually commits to doing something, she's amazing. She can do really cool stuff. She does a great job in things. She fixed her bridge the other day. There's this bridge. She has two bridges to get to her house, little bridges. And one of them has been collapsing for the last year. And, she was kind of waiting for me to do it. She was hinting at me doing it. And then she's just flat out asking me to do it. And then finally, this week she just did it. And she did a great job. She got the bridge back up. She got some like concrete blocks that were actually just solidified cement bags. Because, you know, at one point I ordered 100 bags of cement all at once because it was cheaper. But then, you know, a few at the bottom got solidified. Anyway, she jammed those under the bridge. I don't know exactly how she did it, but man, that bridge is up. It is solid. I walked across it. It was like doom, 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 super solid. And I'm like, wow, Deshaina, you did a great job on that bridge. Hopefully next week she doesn't yell at me. You never say I do anything good. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to tell her she did a good job again and again. But I don't want to get stuck on that. Like that's just one step in a progression of a lot of things. So anyway, she can do really great job on things. So I never try to make her do things that I know she can't do. I only try to make her do things that I know she can do if she puts the effort in. Tomaters, we are all human. That is all I know. Some can and some cannot. All I got to say. Well, that is true. You know, yeah, there are things you can do and things you can't do. But going around saying to people, you know, you're just a human, or you're just a girl, or whatever, you know, before they've even tried, you know, it's like, no, how about maybe I can't do it, but I'm going to try anyway. And maybe I'll be surprised at how much I can do when I do try, you know? And it's all relative to the person. Like I never expect anyone to do what I do, because I know I do some fairly extreme things. But like, I expect people to do what they can do and not look for the excuses. But that is a very good point, Tomaters. That is true. Randy Neal, hello. No, you're talking about topic most people won't talk about. I love it. Oh, now you are talking about a topic. I don't know which topic I was talking about. Oh, it was the when I was talking about the kingdom. All right. That's what gives him motivation to work, having property freedom. Yeah, having property and freedom is a huge piece of people's motivation. Once you take that away from them, you get more and more people who sit in their house with nothing to do except cause trouble. More and more idle hands. And we've got too many idle hands in the world right now. And the idle hands, they just start doing this with their tablets, or, you know, pointing at people. My neighbor's doing something questionable. I saw my neighbor drive into his driveway today with a bunch of 2x4s. I didn't see what he's doing with them, but he has got to be doing some kind of construction. You need to go inspect it and check on it. Oh, it's ridiculous. Let's see, Africa law. I don't know what Africa law is. There is a cool thing in Africa, Ubuntu. You know what Ubuntu is, right? I brought this up the other day. It basically means I am because we are. So like, I am happy because we are happy. I am sad because we are sad. I'm happy, in most of the world where people who look like me come from, we have this idea that it's either me or you. Like, I get to be happy or you get to be happy. But in certain tribes in Africa, they have this idea that you're not happy unless your neighbor's happy. And we really need to have some of that. We need to get more of that and stop looking down on the people who have that kind of philosophy, because we shouldn't be looking down upon them. We should be looking at them as people we can learn something from. Instead of just saying, well, we have technology that those people don't have, therefore we are superior in every way. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, we have a technology they don't have, but they have something we don't have too. This term Ubuntu, just the concept, is a perfect example. All right. Invent a Federal Reserve. Oh God, don't get me started on the Federal Reserve. You know, the point when I basically was like, whoa, this is just, I just felt like I was in an alien world, was when I went up to my dad. Like I learned the Federal Reserve is just some private bank that just gets to rule the world of money, which is basically ruling the world. I go up to my dad and say, hey Dad, do you know that the Federal Reserve is just some private bank? Like they don't They're not the part of the government at all. They're not voted into office or anything. Like, it's just some private bank, and they control all the money. And my dad's like, oh yeah, of course. And I was just like, what do you mean, of course? Oh, well, you know, someone's got to keep track of everything and keep everything running straight. And I was just like, whoa, I need to get out of here. Oh, this is freaking me out. And that was kind of where, this is like when I was like in my 20s or something. And yeah, it was like the scene in The Body Snatchers when you realize everyone around me has been body snatched and replaced. I'm the only one. Yeah, so invent a Federal Reserve that prints funny money into trade accounts, then anytime anyone invents or moves a market against their idea and short it to infinity, or just attack them with bombs. I don't know what you're saying Donald Trump, but I don't know what that means. I mean, I know who Donald Trump is, but I vote Jaimie. Hey there, Everlanders. Lee Douglas McGreevy is saying something cryptic with, I love popcorn. I can't see the last symbol. Someone else is saying Biden. I don't know what that means. Jaimie in the wizard hat fixed the entire world. Oh, wouldn't that be great if you could just, oh my gosh, my camera's stuck. Hold on, I'm gonna do my special trick. Switch cameras to the other one. Oh, there's my workshop again. Well, my workbench. I switch camera back to here and it should unfreeze it. I don't know if that froze for everyone, but mine was freezing. Let's see. Who's David Icke? That name sounds familiar. Bozo, we are naming clowns. Some people are like sheep, they just follow the herd. Yes, I mean, most people, unfortunately. And unfortunately, this is kind of a touchy subject a little bit, but we are, what's the word? The way the system is set up right now, it encourages people to be like sheep on an evolutionary scale, as in people are given an evolutionary advantage to a large degree if they behave like sheep. Which, I mean, you watch the movie Idiocracy, it explains the whole thing in beautiful panoramic vision in like the first 10 minutes. Basically explains how you go from a reasonably intelligent society to just full of morons by incentivizing stupidity, basically. Jaimie reminds me of George Carlin. Oh my gosh, dude, that is like a huge compliment. George Carlin is amazing. That dude was super cool. George Carlin's awesome. I'm gonna take that as a huge compliment and let it blow up my head for a while. We have a neighbor like that. Dude, everybody has a neighbor like that. It's horrible. And that neighbor has been given all the power, which is terrible. They can just call the government and say, I'm sitting around doing nothing, so I have all this time to cause problems for everyone. And this is one of the problems with people who are doing things versus people who do nothing. So the people who are doing things, they don't have time to deal with fighting with the person who's doing nothing. But the person who's doing nothing, they got all day. They can fight with 100 different people at once. Get on the phone and argue with them and send the police over and do all this crap. And the people doing stuff are just like, dude, I don't have time. I have stuff to do. I'm trying to make the world work. And one of the stupid things you often hear in this situation is, well, person doing something, if you're not doing anything wrong, what are you even worried about? And the problem is, if the person doing nothing calls the police and sends them over to the person who's trying to get stuff done, even if the police can't find anything to fine or to tax them on or whatever, can't actually find a problem, they still go over there and waste that person's day or even half the day. And the person doing something is like, look, I can't waste a day talking to these police, showing them everything that I'm doing because I need to be actually doing the stuff. But the person doing nothing can just, I don't care. I got all day to piss around with this nonsense. So one do nothing person can screw up a lot of doing people. Agreed. A little bit like Carlin. I've only been following for 2 weeks, but Jaimie, you're awesome. Well, thank you, Matt Mosca. I will. Well, that's setting the bar pretty high to try to be as excellent as George Carlin. If I can be like 40% as awesome as him, I would be like, whoa, that is, George Carlin was awesome. In case anyone didn't know, I love George Carlin. Homeowner associations are a nightmare. Yes, don't even get me started on those. I'm going to go on for like another hour and a half. I heard a saying once that someone said, what was it, the Romans who came up with what's that D word? Democracy? I don't know. I'd have to hear this quote again, but it was something like, if the Romans had the foresight to see homeowners associations, they never would have invented democracy. Did my camera freeze again? All right, let's keep. Are you gonna snap out of it? No, let's push the turnaround button again. You're all right. Some people are like that. What a shame, though. Yeah, there are too many people just taking everything for granted, and just it's frustrating because they take things for granted and they ruin everything around them, thinking it's not going to ruin their lives too. And then their life gets all crappy, and they're like, "What happened? Why is my life all crappy?" It's like, because you're kind of crapping everywhere, so you end up in a world of crap, you know. I started watching after seeing a documentary about your old home with third floor trampoline. That house was amazing. I love that place. It was an Exploring with Josh documentary. Keeping on, Jaimie. The PTA, the Parent Teachers Association, is that whatever? You are better than any news TV show that you are doing good. Well, that, I gotta say, is not high praise. But still, thank you. Yeah, I watched the news. I think I was saying like 2 weeks ago, I watched a bit of the news with that. I saw that new British Prime Minister talking, you know, this guy. Now everyone will get digital currency and we will control everything you do. Isn't it a marvelous thing? You will be so happy. Look at my eyes, they don't blink, just like a sociopath. Oh man, my eyes hurt from doing that. That guy is, oh, I can't watch. The news is terrible. It will grow back. Are you talking about my cut here? Yeah, it'll be fine. Even when I nicked the tendon here, it hurt for a while, but a year later it grew back. Super glue. I don't think I need to super glue it. It's not bleeding anymore. It's fine. Keep the hand elevated for a while. So don't like go around like this for 45 minutes. Cutting mangroves. Jaimie is a tree hugger and drives a solar-powered boat, FFS, for fluff's sake. I try not to swear on this channel, although I do occasionally on my lives. But yeah, so the mangroves thing. So you're not supposed to cut mangroves. It's against the law. I mean, you're allowed to cut like a path into your property and stuff. I mean, there are rules, but basically cutting mangroves is a big issue. And it's because some idiot at some point was like, let me just wipe out like acres of mangroves all at once. And the problem then is that the mangroves are like protecting the land. So you take out all the mangroves, you start getting all this erosion, it screws everything up. Plus you're destroying the habitat of all these animals. Like, you know, if people were just sensible and just like, we're like, well, I need to make a path into my property, so I'll make a reasonable path and that's it. There'd be no problem. But there's always some idiot who's just like, well, I'm going to hire a bunch of people to just wipe out acres of natural stuff that we need and is, going to cause all these problems. And then, they have to make laws about it that kind of mess up all the reasonable people. And I'm not going to go about this anymore. Anyway, I am not cutting any mangroves, so don't worry about it. Great thumbnail, by the way. I don't remember what my thumbnail was. Whenever I do these, I like push the next button and start, and then it's like smile for a thumbnail. I'm always like, or I don't know what to do. Like, why did you abandon the trampoline house property? Well, that question's come up every week for a while. I did not abandon my house in Vermont. I sold it. And as far as I know, it's not actually abandoned. Someone owns it, and I haven't kept up with what they're doing with it. But last I heard, they were trying to sell it, but I don't really know what's going on there. When I sold the property in Vermont, I purposely chose to not pay attention to what's going on there. Because, you know, it's like a place that I put my heart and soul into. I don't, and then when I sold it to someone else, it became theirs. It's not mine anymore. And someone recently mentioned on here that he sold a house that he built on this piece of land, and he did pay attention. And what they did was they tore down the house and clear cut his forest. And he was just like, "Oh, disgusting!" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't need to know what's going on there." So yeah, I didn't abandon that property. Although there is a funny thing about the word abandon. Even when I lived there, people would show up to my house and be like, "Hey, you know about this abandoned house?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's my house." "Oh, were you trying to move in or something? You can't just move into an abandoned house." And I'm like, no, that's my house. I built it." "What, you built that? What, are you squatting?" I'm like, "No, I own this land and I built that house. This is my place. And right now you're trespassing. Hello? Like, say hi to me. You're on my property. Say hi." You know? And that happened a lot. It was kind of funny. Although eventually word got out and people were like, you know, people would tell the story of, "Yeah, I walked up to this abandoned guy's house and he's like, yeah, it's not abandoned, it's actually my house." So people kind of would come up and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Anyway. Hi, Jaimie. Did you get to see my Tyvek Dome airform on my channel? That's what I need to check. Where's my thing? Yeah, I wrote down Aircrete Harry. That's who you are, right? Aircrete Harry. Yeah, Aircrete Harry. And then I looked at it when I was like, okay, I need to look at my list of stuff and see what I was supposed to do. And I looked and saw Aircrete Harry and I was like, what? Why? What? So I need to write Aircrete Harry Tyvek Dome. I bet if I look for that, I should be able to find the right thing. So yes. All right. Hopefully I will remember to do that this week. By George. Look at his older videos. Oh no. Whose older videos? My older videos? Oh, I'm crazy. I was crazy then. Maybe I'm crazy now. I don't know. Wait, so if I buy an island in South America, I still have to put up with Karens. You only have to put up with Karens if you have a freaking YouTube channel. Because like, if I don't share what I'm doing here, nobody knows what I'm doing here. And the thing is, like, I'm doing this YouTube channel because I think it's important, and I want to show a lot of people that there's a way to live other than, you know, the standard way. And I'm not trying to say that my way of living is the only way of living or anything. I'm just trying to, like, I think it's important to put that out there and just say, hey, people growing up who feel like they're stuck and have no options, you know, here's another option. In fact, you can make up your own option. You know, I feel like it's important to put this message out there. And then, you know, the adventure builder stuff. I feel like this is all important to do. But yes, that also means I have to deal with Karens. And Karens all over the world are annoying, but, you know, trolls, whatever. But it does become a little more alarming when it's people who start talking to people I know about me. Because then I'm just like, come on. Like, what are you doing? You're just looking for something I might be doing wrong because you're Karen, I guess. Where did the Karen thing come from? What about coating the boat with something? Well, you can coat the bottom of a boat with toxic chemicals and then nothing grows on them for a few years. And it eventually wears off and then you paint it again with more toxic chemicals, which is what most people do. I'm not doing that for the same reason I'm doing everything in my life. I'm trying to do things a better way than that. So the only thing I have to do to avoid putting toxic chemicals all over my boat is get in the water every now and then and just wipe off the boat. And that's it. Plus, I get to get in the water and I live in this beautiful tropical place it's actually one of my favorite things to do is get in the water and scrub off the boat. It gives me an excuse to jump in and swim around for a while. And, it gives me something, it's fun. I like it. No, I don't want to clean off anyone else's boat, though. I definitely don't want to do that. So don't bring your boat over and say, I said it was fun. Copper would work, but expensive, and don't know if it is legal there. Yeah, you can grind up copper or just get copper dust, mix it with resin, epoxy, whatever, depending on what your boat is made, and put that as your surface on the boat, and then sand it a little bit until the copper is exposed. And the copper is like toxic to sea creatures, so they don't attach to it, but it's also bad for the sea creatures, and it will eventually wear off, corrode through eventually. I don't know what the whole story is, but once I heard it was toxic to the animals, I was like, well, I don't need to do that. You should put sheets of material in the ocean and use the barnacle sheets as house sidings, shingles. Well, that is something to think about. Yeah. Is anyone doing that? Like, there's some stuff that I've researched and actually done some experiments with, kind of along those lines, with electrical accretion of minerals in the ocean. But yeah, I've also thought about, kind of like building stuff out of barnacles. I don't know. You can turn the shells into cement if you heat them up enough. Pavlova is a New Zealand pudding pie. Well, New Zealand pudding pie sounds great, but does it have like added sugar in it? I would totally eat it if it doesn't have added sugar. And the funny thing is, like, now that I don't eat any added sugar, a lot of things, if I eat them just without sugar, they taste delicious to me. He sold the treehouse property. I did. Hi, Jaimie. Made it Southwest Wisconsin. I think SW is Southwest Wisconsin. Hello in Wisconsin. I've spent a fair amount of time in Wisconsin. I've even gone swimming in Lake Michigan in the winter. It was freezing. But I went on like a, I don't know, what was it, like a 5 to 10 mile run to get there. Went swimming, so I was already hot from running, and then got out and ran back to where I was staying. So I heated up again. I kind of like the cold water swimming. I don't have any cold water swimming here, but build idea. I already know what you're saying. Giant exercise hamster wheel to charge gravitational potential energy battery or do other stuff. Yeah, basically power stuff. Could potentially be a full body workout as well. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about making that, a giant hamster wheel so I can go running and like power stuff. It would have to be huge though. It would take up a lot of space. I did have an exercise bike that had an alternator on it in my abandoned house, my old house, which is not abandoned. And supposedly that's still there and functioning. I want to make one here because that was really nice to have, particularly on like a stormy day when I'm getting no solar power. And I want to get some exercise, but it's storming outside, so I don't want to go outside. I could just get on the exercise bike and ride it for half an hour or an hour or whatever, and charge up some batteries, get some exercise. I like doing that. It would be cool to have something that I could run on though, because I do like running more than biking. But anyway, dude, what do you think about compressed earth blocks? I don't know. Can they handle the rain? As far as I know, and I have very little information on this, so this is very limited stuff. I've done not that much research on it. But compressed earth blocks will work great in a dry climate. So if you're not in a dry climate, not so good. Although even in a dry climate, you have to protect them from the rain. So, if I could get them. And now people have told me, oh no, you can put some cement in it. Well, then you're just making concrete. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about compressed earth blocks enough to say whether or not they would be useful to me or anything. But as far as I know, in a tropical climate, compressed earth blocks would not be that good. They wouldn't last. I don't know, maybe I could do some more research and find out some more stuff. However, I do have very nice clay here that I can turn into bricks. A few years ago, I did an experiment, made a bunch of bricks. And I made, I don't know, like a dozen bricks, fired them and everything. And I didn't fire them the greatest. It was just kind of a haphazard thing. And after I fired them all, I broke all the bricks. And some of them broke easily, but a few of them were really hard to break. Like I had to smash them really hard. So yeah, I could totally make viable bricks. Like I had to smash them hard enough to break them that I would consider them totally usable bricks. Cool place. I do like my place. I love my place here. Does D, oh, Miss D does have pretty eyes, I must say. She does have pretty eyes. She does. Build idea. Oh, enslave, well, once you said enslave, I'm not interested in any kind of slavery, whether I'm the master or the slave. I am against the whole thing. But let's read the rest anyway. And it should be enslave, not enslave, right? Enslave Panama monkeys and build several hamster wheels to basically power them with monkeys. I know. Monkeys, they have so much stuff to do. Kids need to, I could get my kids to power my boat. If I want to, okay, so I want to put pedal power on my biggest boat, which is the shark slicer. It's, I don't even remember how big it is now. I think it's like 30 feet long, and which is like 9 meters about, not 9 meters, yeah, about 9 meters long, and I don't know, 10 feet wide or something. Anyway, I'm putting pedal power on that, and I want to make it so that 4 people can pedal, so I can get all my kids to pedal, because then they'll get exercise and have stuff to do on the boat. Kids need to use their brains to grow and survive in life. Yes, they do, and too many kids spend all day doing this, and that is just killing their brains. God, like just now we're starting to get sort of adults who've basically grown up doing this, and man, they are impossible to deal with. And it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. Like a higher and higher percentage of people are going to be the thumb tappers, and oh God. Oh, things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Let's just say that. So that was one of the reasons I moved here, because my kids, they dig with me, they build things with me. I get them to play with Lego all the time. They cook with me. It's great. I can go out and say, all right, let's make dinner. You go get firewood. You fill a pot with water. You do this. My kids are all like going on different things, and they all participate with everything. They know how all the water systems here work and all the electrical system. They see me building things from the ground up. They learn so much stuff. They also do learn, like academic stuff too. That stuff they mostly do with Deshana. But then when they're with me, they do like really practical hands-on things. And I think they're getting an awesome education, like really, really good. Children are hard to train and helping. Mothers learn the children together is hard if fathers and mothers don't think about it as a collaboration. Good work for the 10% co-parents that who try. You need to work on your your autocorrect. Oh man, I'm presuming most of those mistakes were autocorrect. But yeah, so many parents think that they can just get divorced and fight about how they're going to raise their kids, and the kids will be fine, one parent at a time, and we can basically fight against each other. Oh, it's just, I had divorced parents who hated each other, and it was terrible. It was horrible. Like I didn't learn anything from them. All I learned, my brother and I used to talk about how we saw our parents as an excellent example of what not to do. And not that they had nothing to teach, it's just in the context of the divorce and all the fighting, anything they had to teach got lost. It was, kind of frustrating. I don't judge people. Don't even see people anymore. LOL. You should judge people. It is important to judge. You have to have good judgment. Have good judgment, because if you don't judge people, you may let the wrong people into your life. Okay. I can't stand neighbors who get into everyone else's business. Yeah, it's, oh. I haven't, oh. Have you ever had that neighbor who, like, they see that you've shaved your beard? I'm like, why did you shave your beard? This happened not that long ago. And I'm just like, I don't know, it's just hot. I wanted to cool off. I'm actually probably going to shave later today or maybe tomorrow, sometime soon, because this is just, you know, in the winter, this beard is amazing. But in the tropics, it's just like, I want it off. But yeah, my neighbor was upset that I shaved my beard. And he has a big beard. And he's like, why'd you shave your beard? And I'm like, dude, it's my face. I can do whatever I want. Like, what are you talking about? And at first I thought he was joking, but he kept getting so serious. You can't shave your beard, man. And I'm just like, all right, this conversation is over. Just go away. It was ridiculous. Yeah, people who get in other people's business, it's just frustrating. Is it possible to build whatever it is? It's possible. I can do it. Okay. Is it possible to build a Quonset hut with concrete? Absolutely. Yes. Definitely. 100%. Evolutionary education. What up, Jaimie? Oh, it's Facebook. Facebook. Or a basket that is an operating system. I missed something there. It seems food will soon be the new gold. Yeah. So it's funny I haven't watched any of these in a while, so maybe it's changed. But there used to be lots of videos on YouTube about, you know, with titles like, what will be the currency of the apocalypse? And people would always start by saying, what are you going to use to buy food? How are you going to barter with people? What are you going to have to trade to buy food? And they'd always bring up food, but no one would say, obviously, the currency is food. No, they would say, well, bullets, gold. Someone even said Bitcoin. Like in the apocalypse, the internet still works and all that. Like, you just trade some Bitcoin. Whip out your computer. Let's trade some Bitcoin with but no, food is the answer. Like, what are you going to use to buy food so you can survive? Food. That is the currency. That is the answer. Everyone's going to need food. Everyone needs food. Clean water, maybe even. David Icke is a conspiracy theorist. I think that's theorist. Oh, I love typos. Idiocracy is now the nightly news. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like when Idiocracy first came out, what was it, like 20 years ago or something? You know, I watched that movie and it was like, oh, that's so crazy. That's so far-fetched and out there. I watched it like 2 years ago and I was just like, huh. Well, that's just what's happening. Yeah, it did not take long. It was kind of creepy. Oh yeah, I'm not going to get into that one. What's your take on COVID-19 vaccinations? Yeah, you trying to get me kicked off the internet? I guess that maybe answers your question. Yeah. Hey y'all, I made it. Peace to you all, Blackwater boys. What's up, man? Joe Blow has having a coffee, or is that hot chocolate? Ooh, we all made it. Yeah, everyone's here, man. The day that people like that retire, oh yeah, when horrible people retire, then they just sit around and try to cause problems for people. It's terrible. Yes, Tomaters. I also love George Carlin. He's awesome. I need to show some more George Carlin to my kids. I've showed them some of his stuff a little bit here and there. You know who else I also really like is what's his name? The red-haired guy, balding. Yeah. I always forget his name. His face turns red when he gets all worked up. He does amazing impressions of feminists. Someone's going to tell me. Bill Burr. I also love Bill Burr. He is hilarious. Oh, man. We have a lady in our neighborhood that calls the cops all the time. Yes, I swear her name is Karen. Yeah, isn't that the best? You know, in the frustrating thing, like I was saying before, even if the police come over and don't find any problem, it's like you just had to waste an hour or half a day or whatever, like showing them around that you're not doing anything, or like just dealing with this stupid person who's causing problems. It just sucks away hours of your life. and you're just like, I just got wasted for nothing. A whole bunch of time down the tubes, got turned into nothing. Oh, did my camera freeze again? What is going on today? Did it freeze? It totally froze again. All right, let me, at least I have a way to fix it. If this thing didn't have a camera on the back of it, I wouldn't be able to fix it. Well, there's my workbench back there again. I love my workbench, it's so clean. All right, back to here, come on, there we go. Oh, Jaimie, be down here in 20 minutes, I bet on it. Be down here in 20 minutes. Be down here in the comments. Yeah, I'm probably like 20 minutes behind on the comments now, aren't I? Reading chat. Oh, hey, Tomers, hope you are good. I'll try to speed up through some of these comments a little bit so I can get to the end. Do you have any data backed up inside of a Faraday cage in case solar flares? Would be a shame to lose so much human progress. Well, okay, the best of my human progress, like the best stuff that I have to show for anything I've done is the stuff itself. Like I have this house. I love this house. Like, check out the roof of this place. Ignore the scaffolding, but man, look how beautiful that is. That's not going to disappear because of data from solar. You know, my boats, my wheelbarrow. I don't know. I'm always going on about my stainless steel wheelbarrow. Oh, I love my stainless steel wheelbarrow. I can leave it outside. It's outside right now at the top of the hill, not rusting. Oh, so amazing. I just go up there and use it. I don't even have to put a thing away. Same with my shovels. And I've got like all these inventions and all this amazing stuff around. None of that's going to get lost because of data. The thing I would probably want to save though is like movies to watch. It's like the movies I've made, you know, hopefully they wouldn't be lost. I think maybe I would make sure I keep, you know, the Adventure Builder movie or maybe a few other things. But yeah, maybe I right now I have nothing. But that is something I have been thinking about. Like maybe I should have like some kind of protection over some computer stuff to protect that stuff. Because there is stuff that I would want to do with a computer in the apocalypse. There's always rules. There are always rules. I think lots of things would change for the better if folks stopped consuming products and services from these woke companies and focused on producing, selling their own stuff. Yeah, totally, 100%. If people started doing stuff themselves, dealing with their own garbage, that's another huge one. Yeah, the world would change huge. Mangrove trees are amazing. They provide a great deal of service to the rest of life on Earth. Yeah, mangroves are amazing. So anyone who doesn't know what a mangrove is, it's like this plant that grows in seawater. And they basically make land. And my island here is almost completely surrounded by, you know, some amount of mangroves. Some spots, like over there, it's like, I don't know, this is a pretty long stretch of mangroves before the water. But then like a lot of it is just like, I don't know, like I could throw a rock over the mangroves into the water pretty easily. It's just a short thing of mangroves. But whenever there's a storm, the mangroves protect the land from erosion. I'm in here, I'm safe. My boats are all parked in the interior of the island, which is largely protected by the mangroves. Yeah, the mangroves are amazing. When you think about a beautiful island, you usually think about like sandy beaches. Man, sandy beaches, you don't want to live on a place with sandy beaches because those get washed away and, the erosion, and sometimes it comes back. It changes all the time. You could lose a huge chunk of land all at once suddenly. But if your land has mangroves protecting the land, you're pretty good. It's like a living barrier that heals itself. And I'm actually encouraging some mangroves to grow across this part where there are no mangroves to protect that spot. Yeah, mangroves they're really good to have, particularly in a storm. On Josh's video, I went through all the comments and gave Jaimie's YouTube link to everyone who showed interest in where is he now? Oh, well, thanks, man. That's cool. Should I take out any statement that post in chat about the Vermont house or what? No, it's fine. I mean, if people want to ask about my house in Vermont, I'm fine with talking about it a little bit every week. I don't want it to turn into like, a 2-hour discussion or anything, but I'm happy to, give a few minutes on that. Real estate, 100% You can't escrow a house if a house people are living on. I think you're saying, oh, real estate in terms of the currency of the apocalypse. Yeah, having real estate is definitely valuable. I started following when you were cutting that mountain road. Holy smokes, those were the days. Yeah, I remember doing that. Man, that was when I made that road. It was like 1.5 miles of road through the mountains, and like a lot of it was along like a 45-degree slope. So I just had to like cut out a chunk of dirt here and move that over there, and it went far. And I was not sure if it was even possible when I started. And I was like, well, I'm going to learn something huge here. And I'm just going to start, and I'm going to commit myself to it as if I'm going to be able to do it. And I don't know if I can do it. And then when I got to the end, I was like, holy crap. I cannot believe what a human being can do. So now, whenever I think about some huge project that seems impossible, I always think about that road. And then I think, oh, if I could do that road, I can do like just about anything. And, building this house, for example, it's 4-story tall dome. Somehow I've made a masonry roof, like a dome roof that goes across a 40-foot span, and just by myself. And it seemed ridiculous, but I was like, no, let's do it one step at a time, just like that road. So that road, the road itself is cool, but the most valuable thing for me for that road was just the lesson I got from it about like what a person can do if you just commit to something and just keep going. Adventure Builder forever. Hey, 7 months, let's go. What is 7 months? Oh, he's been a member for 7 months. Nice. Yeah, copper is really toxic to shells, to shell stuff. Yeah, I don't want to poison the ocean just because I'm driving around. Another cool thing, I don't know if this is because I'm in a pedal boat, but dolphins more and more come and just hang out by my boat, like will swim like right under my feet. And I can see, like my boat is open where my pedals are, so I can see the water right under. And sometimes dolphins will swim right under there. It's really cool. And it's like they know my boat now. Put barnacle sheets in front of the boat so they stick to them first instead of the boat. Yeah, I could wrap my boat in sheets of something. Then the barnacles stick to that, and they could take those sheets and build a house or something out of them. I know a guy who takes toilet beeswax seals and melts them down and uses it to coat his boat hull. Seems to help. Has to do it once a year. Really? Toilet beeswax seals. Well, I could try that, but then I have to get the boat out and wax it. I don't know. I don't have a problem right now. So I don't know. I'm going to keep that in mind though. Oh, Ian Hanshin, message retracted. He was just like, oh, Jaimie, you're such a dick. No, he probably just had a typo. It's called a Karen because, they care all over everything. A Karen, like a Care Bear. I care so much. Well, not actually caring. They just care. I get it. Yeah, a Karen. Oh. Blackwater, interesting idea. The wax is kind of hydrophobic too. Wonder if it would reduce resistance. I was actually wondering that too. If I coat my boat with wax, will it go faster? I do kind of want to build a new boat with real streamlined hulls. I showed this model last week of one that I can make with aluminum sheets. So I keep thinking about doing that. I kind of want to do that because it would be nice to have a boat that's basically like my boat right now, but faster and just more streamlined. It just, basically like a more polished, finished version of the boat I have now. Question. Oh, we got a question. What was the main reason you sold your houseboat to Poseidon? It was I didn't have any more use for it, and I wasn't going to rent it. I wasn't going to spend enough time to fix it up, and yeah, I don't know. I just need needed to move on from that. Hey, Jaimie, I have a lot of clay. How can I use it effectively? For example, bricks. Well, if you've got clay, like really nice clay, get it, try forming it into a brick. And if you have no rocks in it, there's a good chance you'll be able to get it to dry out without cracking much, and then you can put that in the fire. Yeah, if you look on the internet or on YouTube or whatever, which is on the internet, obviously, you can get the details of, how long you have to fire bricks and stuff like that. It's not hard to find, but basically you want to start with taking the clay, turn it into a brick, and let it dry out, like totally dry out. And if it cracks and falls apart, you have maybe too many rocks in it or something. And something you can do to help prevent the cracking is mix a bunch of sand in there, because then you get the same size particles throughout the whole thing, so it shrinks more evenly. And I've also made a bunch of like cups and stuff like that. I have one cup that's at Shayna's house. I made it years ago, and it came out really good, and it's totally dried out. Obviously, it was from years ago, and I need to fire it at some point. I'm just nervous about firing it because it's so nice, and if I fire it, it might explode, but I'll have to do it at some point. I would say just play with it, man. Just see what you can get the clay to do. Start trying things out. But one of the things I would try is like just make a brick, make a ball, make a cup, let them dry out, see if they crack. And if they crack, try adding some sand, try some different stuff. One thing I haven't tried yet that I do want to try, that helps with the cracking supposedly a lot, is if you get charcoal and you grind up the charcoal, which is pretty easy to do. I mean, you can just hit it with a board and basically turn charcoal into powder, and mix the charcoal in with your clay. And that makes it so when you fire the clay, the charcoal burns up and leaves like little tiny bubbles everywhere, and basically makes foam clay. So it can expand and contract more easily. It has a little bit of insulating properties, and it doesn't crack as easily. Supposedly, it's supposed to be pretty good, but I haven't tried it yet. I want to try that. So if you try that, let me know. Oops, smack thing. Sorry I couldn't ask before. I don't want to rewind you into the financial control system, but I really wanted to ask you something about crypto. Okay, what's the question about crypto? I do have a little bit of Bitcoin. I think I have like my Bitcoin, what do you call it? The fancy number where you can send me Bitcoin in the description. I try to always put that in, and occasionally someone will send me a bit of Bitcoin. And I bought a few things with Bitcoin over the years. Right now, Bitcoin is kind of low. Maybe if it goes back up, I'll buy some more stuff. But right now, I'm not doing anything with it. Let's see. Dustman really seems to work. Gets dark in color, but whatever, right? I don't know what that was talking about. Jaimie, how long does your solar power last? And do you have wave power generator or wind power? Right now, I mean, this is a pretty big question, but on my boats, I have no batteries. So if the sun's out, I get motor help. If the sun's not out, I'm just pedaling. In my house, how long does it last? It depends what I'm doing with it. I have 4 golf cart batteries, like, those big heavy lead acid batteries, the deep cycle ones, like golf cart ones. And I don't know, however long 4 of those last. I only have one 275 watt solar panel charging them right now. So I don't have a ton of power or anything, but it's been enough. At some point I'll put up more solar panels to keep up with, using more tools and stuff. But with the stuff I've been doing so far, it's pretty much keeping up. I do want to grind some peanut butter, which I haven't been able to do in the last few weeks because it's been kind of cloudy. Today's sunny though. I could totally do it today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I kind of want to let the batteries like charge. So that's, I don't know if that answers the question. How about electrolyzing the boat's hull so the barnacles don't stick if the hull's made of metal? Yeah, it's not made of metal, but if I make a metal boat, maybe, but you have to be careful with that, because if you electrify your boat, It can either like eat away at the metal or start collecting things. So, you know, you gotta, I don't know if that would work. You can accrete stuff onto your boat or basically clean it off with like losing the surface atoms, but you don't want to keep doing that because you run out of boat. Do you think that crypto could eventually release humanity from the current financial monopoly, or is it another Ponzi scheme? Yeah, I don't think crypto is saving us. I don't. You know, people often talk about the thing, the mechanism, either, you know, the money scheme or the religion or the type of politics or, you know, whatever thing is going to save us. The aliens, the technology, like something's going to save us. We have to save ourselves. Nothing is saving us. We have to save ourselves from inside ourselves. So, hold on, give me a second. So I came up with this idea for the Adventure Builders Club. That's what this symbol is for. It's for the Adventure Builders Club, right? And right here, I've got a symbol with all the adventure builder virtues or principles on it. And this is what I keep inside of me. And I keep this is my small one. I have a big poster of it up over there. And I look at this every day, and it reminds me to do a good job of stuff. And this is what makes my life good. You know, it keeps me on track. It keeps me in the right kind of attitude. Like some mornings I wake up and I don't feel good because I've had to deal with crappy people, or for some reason I'm unmotivated, or you know, something is just off, or I'm feeling angry, or you know, whatever. I go look at that thing, and I'll spend like 30 seconds just looking at it and being like, oh yeah, right. And it kind of resets my brain into a functional mode, into like kind of an optimized. I shouldn't say optimized, because there's always some way to do things better, but it gets me into a really good state where I can be productive and responsible and do good things. And that is what's going to save us. Not specifically the Adventure Builders Club, but in some way our own inner morality. We need to get back on a system where people's behavior is regulated by themselves, by their own internal ideas of right and wrong. Not like you can't just control everyone with the right kind of money or the religion or the right political whatever. You got to give people the freedom to make their decisions, and then encourage them to make good decisions, or even just allow them to make good decisions. I made a bunch of blocks out of earth, made a block presser, but they were pretty susceptible to erosion. Yeah. Black water, who cares how it looks? Oh, something that was about the dark thing. Just a reminder, Jaimie is 20 minutes behind reading chat. All right, I'm hurrying up. But he's reading everything. That's honorable. I do read everything. Lego is the greatest. Wow, I am way behind, aren't I? Sorry. I had a giant Lego collection as a kid. I swear it really helped me later in life. Yeah, all I wanted when I was a kid, all I wanted for like birthdays or Christmas or any time I could, you know, get some kind of present or something was Lego or tools. I just had to fix my camera again there. If you want to do research about compressed dirt, you should definitely check out Chris Harbour. He lives much like you. Why? I don't know. I don't feel the need to do that right now. Let me write it down anyway. Chris Harbour, compressed earth bricks. Yeah. Yes, he read everything, even messages I delete. He's 20 minutes late in chat. I am 20 minutes late on topic. That guarantees at least 49 minutes of live streaming, which is good. Oh, you tricky little bugger. That's a good thing, right? He doesn't leave anyone out. I like that. Well, I try to read all the stuff. Well, this guy just said cool, so I feel like I need to speed up a bit, so I was going to skip that. But that is cool by George. I have pointless job in here, but I am here sometimes. LOL. Yo, dude, tomatoes, you're great. D is more charming than you? That's a question. I don't know. If Deshana and I went up to perfect strangers and blinked our eyes at them and asked them to do something, I think they would more likely do what she asked them to do. I never ask people to do things for me anyway. Brondo is what plants like. I have to agree with you, Carrot Top or Bill Burr. I don't know that much about Carrot Top. Is he awesome too? I don't know. Bill Burr. Oh, you're asking who I was talking about. Oh man, I'm so behind. All right, I'm going to try to speed through these a bit and catch up. Yeah, Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr. Nah, I'm happy your answer about C19 vax would get you kicked off YouTube. Yeah. None of my family has vaccinations for reasons that I am not going to discuss. Tomatoes, you matter. You matter all the time. You know how to put wheels and tow this crowd around. 25 minutes around to be exact. I can't watch through Idiocracy now. It's just a reminder. Yeah, I know. When I first watched Idiocracy, I was like, dude, this is the best movie ever. It's hilarious and amazing and shows where we need not to go. But yeah, when I watched it a couple of years ago, I was just like, oh. I mean, it's still funny, but oh. You did good reading chat, Jaimie Mansell. Just to let you know. Well, thank you. I'm trying to keep up. Speaking of movies, I saw Rob Roy on Tubi yesterday. One of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Better than Braveheart. Oh yeah, Rob Roy. That was an amazing movie. And I don't want to start talking about it because I'll just, if you haven't seen the movie Rob Roy, watch it. Don't ask anyone about it. It's really good. Watch it all the way to the end. Landfill doesn't get my paper. The only thing that is a problem here is plastic, styrofoam. Well, yeah, landfill gets my plastic, but styrofoam, I'm mostly using that to build things. I guess they could use it for insulation. Jaimie, about the Vermont house. You're funny. Oh, you love Jaimie. Thanks, man. Jaimie, you often say we live in a society. Well, often I speak in very generalized terms because it would take too long to get really specific, but let's see what the rest is. You often say we live in a society, but I am not sure how you define this. You live fairly isolated, or do you mean the culture as promoted in the mainstream media or through advertising? Okay, when I say, we live in a society where people do this dumb thing or that dumb thing, yeah, I'm just talking in very generalized terms. And often I'm talking about things that I am very willfully not participating in. For example, ratting out your neighbor on things. Although I am even here, I'm affected by that to some degree. I have people asking my friends about what I'm doing with clearly, negative tone, what's the word? Motivations, like ill will toward me, and yeah, I don't know. Put one foot in front of the other is always the best way to build or repair anything. Yeah, whenever I have something to build or repair that seems, it's too big to think about all at once, the first thing I do is think, okay, what is a piece that I can do? And I'll just find the easiest piece that I can do and just start with, okay, I'll just do that. And then I'll be like, okay, what's the next piece I can do? And I'll just be like, what's the next easiest piece? I'll just do that. And pretty soon I start getting somewhere, and some of the harder pieces start seeming not so hard because when I do some of the other pieces, it like fills in parts of the gaps and kind of defines how I can do those other pieces. And yeah, just keep going one step at a time. If you can make a road like that, you can definitely increase your island's mass against the rise of the ocean. No, yeah, Totally. Paper is a great building material. My friend made a little house in her backyard with papercrete. I know I haven't done anything with papercrete. The leftover blocks sat in the yard for years and barely show any signs of degradation. Well, that is cool. I guess I don't do anything with papercrete because I don't have a lot of paper here. Yeah. At Facebook, this chat space is societizing us. Very well. Does your house have steel reinforcement in the dome on your house? My dome has no steel reinforcement. However, at the base of the dome, there are 2 stainless steel cables going around, so that kind of holds it in so it won't collapse. Although when I built Deshaina's house, I built her entire house in a parabolic shape or a catenary, so it didn't need any, rings at the top of or at the bottom of the roof part. Although there isn't really a specific roof part, it just, the shape carries all the way down to the ground, and the whole thing is leaning in on itself. Yes, put question before you ask a question, so I'll know there's a question. Keep xylene outside of your house, Jaimie. What's xylene? Is that something to do with styrofoam? There's a video about a water bottle pet-based beekeeping technology by some Russian dude, but translated very worth it. Video about a water bottle-based beekeeping technology. All right. Water bottle-based bee. I'm not ready to get bees yet. Water bottle beekeeper Russian. Yeah, I'll totally remember what that means when I go read it later. Max Egorov is the Russian. Okay, maybe I'll look that up because I do want to get bees at some point. Jaimie, you've got a defense plan to protect the island in the apocalypse to stop the food invaders. Well, if I had to, I could produce a gun at my house today. Like I have sufficient stuff to do that. Like a decent gun. I could also make some bow and arrows and stuff. Let's see, I'm going to try to skip through these a little bit. Yeah, the zombie. I always hit the like button. It's my job. Yeah, tomatoes, hit my like button. That sounded not right at all. Jaimie, model aircraft propellers for electric boats. I don't know. I just make my own propellers. How many people hit the like button in here when they first show up? I do. I like this man and everything about him. Does it? I don't even know what hitting the like button does. The like button does, but I guess it must do something. Ever thought about archiving your channel in case YouTube does its stupid thing and it gets wiped because you've got quite a gold mine of a channel here? Well, maybe. I mean, I have all my videos on hard drives, so maybe I just need to lock them up in some. Would a Faraday cage protect? That would protect from a solar flare, right? I just need to keep them in a metal container, basically. Terrible stream quality. Oh. Yeah, sorry. I need to move less so I'm not messing up the video. He's streaming from a small remote island in Panama. Give it a pass. Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, when if I move around a lot, the video can't keep up. Jaimie, thank you so much for this weekly appointment. Listening to you talk about my favorite topics always gives me a boost after a week of combating the Sheeple Society. Much appreciated. Well, you're welcome, Frederick. I'm glad this is doing something. Oh, Tomaters, you're such a joker. Question to all: how are you going to build your adventure today? It is close to the 2-hour mark here. Oh, it is close? Yeah, it is. Everyone come up with, oh, jeez. Yeah, Tomatoes, your joke got auto-corrected there. Question, do you get earthquakes here? We do get earthquakes here. We haven't had like a huge earthquake since we've been here. Oh, actually, there was one that was pretty significant, but nothing where it's like, oh, the local town got demolished or anything. But there's some tremors. Bottle-to-bottle honey production, contactless beekeeping. Oh, that does sound good. Is the name of the beekeeper Adoko makes. Contactless. Wait. Beekeeping. Yeah, one of the reasons hold on, let me write that first. Contactless beekeeping. Yeah, if I'm keeping bees, I don't want to be messing with them all the time. I want to like swipe their honey without them knowing about it. You know what I mean? Everyone is a universal quantifier. I'm not identifying. Let's see. Oh yeah. Same with me. When I talk about, in general terms, everyone, I try not to say that, but I'm sure it comes out sometimes. But yeah, it doesn't actually mean everyone. It's just, when you're talking about things in a context like this, if I stopped at every point and explained exactly the specific people I'm talking about, it would just take forever. So you all have to fill in the blanks, hopefully correctly. Model aircraft propellers are extremely efficient as props and cheap. I'd really recommend checking it out. You won't regret it. Well, Dustman, do you have a boat that you drive consistently that may drive through things like weeds and grass? Because model propellers, like made for aircrafts, I'm pretty sure would just gobble up weeds and grass and stuff. I very rarely have to stop my boat and pull crap off the propeller. I occasionally do, but very rarely. But I do fairly regularly drive through, a bunch of grass that's in the water or some seaweed or stuff. And that is a problem with those propellers. That's why they make marine weedless propellers. Jaimie, is it possible to clean clay out of the soil for gardening? You mean the soil for gardening, or I'm presuming you want to get the clay out of the gardening soil? Yeah, if you put your clay into a bucket of water and you stir it up and then let it settle, and when your water is still brown, pour off the water, and you should pretty much just have clay in that water at that point. Like all the bigger particles would settle to the bottom, and all the wood particles and leaves and stuff should float to the top. So you have to skim those off. But yeah, you should have like a chocolate milky liquid. And then if you let that settle, it'll take longer. Then you should have clay all at the bottom. That's a really quick explanation, but yeah. You almost made it to the end of the comments. Keep it up. All right, I'm going for it. Usually I make it to the end of the comments at around 2 hours. Hopefully no jokers like, haha, let's put 150 comments at the end. Question, are you building any new robots? Not at the moment. However, in my head, I do have some designs that are going on. That's kind of a constant thing for me. Like when people daydream, often my daydreams are like, if I put the gears over here and use the lever, I could make a really cool leg design. But wait, if and I'll start thinking about how to make legs. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how to make legs that can be amphibious and can get into the water and out of the water, in salt water and out of salt water, and be durable and handle the salt water. And yeah, I'm always thinking about new robots to build. What do you think about my project? I don't know. GT15 racing boat, 25,000 watts converted electric outboard, do-it-yourself 18650 battery pack with 792 cells. I don't know. It sounds like it would go really fast. I guess that's what I think. Sounds like it would be fun to do. Not anything that would be useful for me. I'm always doing things that are more practical. But yeah, sounds like a fun boat to drive. But the first thing I think of is that I want to take all that power and put it into an aircraft that would just skim across the water, like a foot or two above the water. Jaimie is on streamer on YouTube. Oh, Jaimie is the only streamer on YouTube that read all the chat? Only, yes. Today is the day that I created an alarm in my phone to not miss these live videos in the future. Oh, you made an alarm and I was like 20 minutes late today. It's because the internet wasn't connecting, because I usually leave my internet turned off. So when I turn it on, sometimes it connects right away. Sometimes it takes a while. But I was out, slicing up my knuckle and doing stuff. And I got back like right at 11. So I was even a few minutes late. So when I turned on the internet, it didn't start working for like 20 minutes. So I was totally late. Sorry, man. I'm going to build mulch after this. That's my adventure building project again. Okay, I need to get more good dirt growing on my island. And that's something I've been thinking a lot about. I've been composting, but I want to get better at it. What's the story with your mulch? Send me an email if you have like some good information. Depends on the prop. From memory, the torpedo RC glow engine props are made from some fiberglass along in plastic. Well, fiberglass is partly plastic. They're very strong, but can be brittle. Oh, I don't want anything brittle for a propeller. Anyway, I just build my own propellers. So I build them whatever pitch they need to be, and they come out great. Question, did you ever live in a house bus back in the 60s? Well, I wasn't alive then, but that would have been funny. I did exactly that to get clay. Oh, took about 3 to 5 minutes for the silt to settle out and be left with relatively pure clay. Cool. How old do you think Jaimie is? LOL. Look at all my gray hair. Look at, I got no hair on my head. No hair on my head. How old is Jaimie? Question, if I put this question in here while you're still late on the comments, would I be making you lag even more? Oh, you little bugger. I was born in 1965 and I am 57 years old. Yeah, I was born in 1975. Thanks, fair enough. Yeah, and Ikeanoplane, or something would be cool, but I think you may need even more power. Oh, I do not think I would need more power than you just described a 25,000 watt motor and stuff. I could build an airplane with that much power, totally. Wait, let me think. Yeah, totally, definitely. Was shoveling a ton of snow and I was about to give up shoveling and I thought, what would Jaimie do? And kept going. That is what Jaimie would do. Jaimie would totally keep going. You are a great inspiration to me. Love you, brother. Peace, Ralphie. Oh, that's great, man. I've been able to produce soil within 2 weeks. It creates the heat for sure. I don't care about the heat, but I want to know what I need to do to make soil, like turn leaves and grass and whatever into soil. That would be great. Have a good week, everyone. Peace. Later, Ralphie. Time to sign off. Made it, LOL. 54. Born in 61. Thoughts on the increasing use. Oh my gosh, I made it to the end. I'm at the end of the comments. Almost at 2 hours. Thoughts on the increasing use and throw trend among mass-produced products and tools, or am I just being paranoid about everything? Use and throw everything. So basically you're talking about disposable everything. Yeah, I've gone on about this quite a few times. Our disposable culture is absolutely insane and disgusting. And I mean, obviously it's not sustainable. You can't keep throwing everything away and expect to keep having stuff to continue throwing away. Totally insane. And this is one of the reasons I moved here, and I'm building things with concrete and stainless steel, and always trying to use, materials that are going to last. Like, I didn't build my wheelbarrow for me; I built it for my grandkids, and like all kinds of stuff. I'm always trying to make things that are going to last, because it just makes sense. It's totally insane how much our disposable society is just turning everything into garbage. also some idiots can make, more money. Yeah, but 25,000 watts, peak only, 12 sustained. So 12,000 watts. Yeah, I could make a flying machine with 12,000 watts, totally. Especially if I have 25,000 for takeoff. It all depends on the size of the thing. And I want to make something that will work in ground effect. I don't need to go flying high up in the air. My secret is grass. Oh, this is about the making dirt. My secret is grass and fine cut paper from the mailbox. That's to make the dirt. So grass and fine and shredded up paper. If I just throw that in a pile, and what do I do? Just leave it there? Do I have to mix it up every now and then to make dirt? I'm a year older than Jaimie, but I'm not saying my age. You all should have paid more attention. Well, I think it was like pretty recently in a video, I put my age in the title. 47. Look up 18-day fast compost. Ooh. 18-day fast compost by, what was it? George Lawton. No, Jeff Lawton, sorry. Yeah. Geoff Lawton. All right, maybe I'll get some composting tips out of that. That would be great. Let's see. I cleared snow from my drive with a flamethrower. That's so ridiculous. Thanks for your time today, Jaimie. I appreciate you, brother. Well, I presume that Take the Ride is going. Have a great afternoon. Tomaters, question for you for Tomaters. Question, around 100 years ago, the USA had a public parks project where humans gathered to protect their environment. Is there anything specific you think humans should gather to do next? Oh man, that's a big question. Why do people ask these huge questions like at the end of 2 hours? Ask that at the beginning, man. Oh man. I don't know. There are a couple different ways to think about this. Like, are we at the point in our current civilization where we just need it to kind of collapse as quickly as possible and not drag it out? Because when something's on its way down, kind of the faster it gets to the collapsing point, the better. Or do we think it can still be? Is it still recoverable? That's a pretty big debate. Like, do we need to scrap everything and restart, or keep fighting to kind of try to keep it? Anyway, we ship garbage around the world. Oh God, yeah, it's pretty much garbage before it even leaves the factory. Yeah, just the amount of garbage that is being made now. Like, history is going to look back on our age as the garbage age. They're going to be like, Stone Age, Copper Age, Iron Age. They're going to get up to like Space Age, which is awesome. And then they're going to be like Information Age, which quickly devolved into the Misinformation Age, or just the Bullshit Age, and the Garbage Age, where, if you look through the layers of sediment, it's going to be like dirt, and then there's going to be this layer of just our garbage, like our generation's just filth. Disgusting stuff. And then you'll be like, oh, yep, that was the garbage age right there. Let's see. Question for you. I got this icon supporter as a present from you and no one else. Okay. What is that knuckle bust on your right hand? Okay, in case you missed the beginning of this, I was getting the barnacles off Deshana's boat, and barnacles are basically they're like razor blades glued onto the boat, and I hit one with my knuckle. My hand was covered in blood. It was just bleeding everywhere, but now I think it's fine. What country is everyone from? Everyone? That is a difficult question to answer. Garbage is a money-making business. Yes, it is. It's disgusting. My boss wanted me to give wanted, well, my boss wanted to give me a Christmas bonus. I said I didn't want it. Oh, okay, cool. Layer a little paper. Okay, layer a little paper and 3 times the green. So I'll put a little bit of shredded paper and then put 3 times the amount of grass and leaves on stuff like that. And then it should turn into dirt in 18 days. Is that what they said? Yes, I gift subs from sometimes. Far North Carolina coast here. Gonna turn 67 in a few days. Oh, you're so old. The environment has hemorrhasis. That's what we feel has That's what we feel has bugs answers. Question. Do you think World War III will start? I don't know. You mean like, I don't know. Things are such a mess right now. It's just incredible what's going on. I don't even know what to say. And I guess World War III starts when like bombs start flying like in earnest. I don't know, maybe. Let's see. So conserve that, cover the ground. I'm trying to get to the end. I don't want to leave any comments that I didn't read. Cover the ground, cover with ground fabric when it's 3 feet tall by 3 feet by 3 feet. Okay, and skid walls on the ground. I use a rotary sifter to sift it and put the large stuff back on the compost. Okay, do you think that if you wrapped a chainmail mussel, oh, didn't you already ask me this in some side of, if you can inflate it, basically turn it into mussels? Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I don't see it as, it could be sufficiently salt proof, but I feel like that's gonna get holes in it. I don't know. You should try it and let me know how it goes though. All balls. I've had a theory that our garbage layer can convert into the next oil layer. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Like in 200 years, they could be like, thankful that we were so wasteful and, made this nice layer of plastic for them. I've watched your videos since I was a teenager. Man, that's a long time. It's been very inspiring to see you build stuff. It's given me courage. Well, cool, man. Now I have a small company and we are sending our first piece of hardware to the International Space Station in a few months. That is awesome. Oh, that is so cool. What are you sending? Are you allowed to talk about it? I'd love to hear about that. That's awesome. Do you have a ham radio? No, but I love ham. Oh my gosh, I could eat some ham. I probably should get a ham radio, shouldn't I? I have walkie-talkies. So I talked to Deshana's Island. We have 24-hour communications. I can also yell at Deshana's Island from here. But for some reason, she's not loud enough to yell back. But I think she wasn't really trying because I've heard her yell pretty loud. That is so cool that you're sending something up to the space station. Okay, I got to the end of comments. And I'm just over 2 hours. Type it again. Let's see. Thanks, dude. Now we're sending rubbish in space. Oh, don't send their garbage to outer space. All right. Well, I hope everyone's had an excellent time. Oh, let me get one more question. Have you located any balsa trees? They're around. They're definitely around. Imagining your balsa Air Force since you found that balsa driftwood that rotted. Yeah, I didn't end up doing anything with that balsa driftwood. I mean, I did a couple little things, but nothing like really cool. But there are definitely balsa trees around. But that stuff is not long lasting for sure. Okay, I hope everyone has an excellent afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are, depending on what's going on. And yes, you keep safe too, Storm Chaser. Don't chase the storms too close. Whenever I see storms in my boat, man, I start pedaling like mad, which has happened a few times. Those twisters, water spouts, I've seen those chasing me a few times. That's scary. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week, and hopefully I'll not be late or injured. Okay. All right, you guys are awesome.